Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to go viral with your business through short form content. Um, Things that I've helped multiple businesses do, generate millions of views every single month. And in this webinar, we're kind of going to run through exactly how I do it, how you can do the same, and fingers crossed you'll take a load of value away from this session. So, about me, just for some context here. Now, I run shoutagency.co.uk. We generate millions of views every single month for our clients. We've just surpassed, with one of our particular clients in the last 4 months, have generated over 11 million views entirely organically through short form social media content, as across all of the platforms. And we really specialize in that human first short form content, which works so well for businesses. So in this talk, I'm going to teach you exactly how you can do it as well. So you're not just reliant on marketing agencies coming in and spending tens of thousands of pounds on marketing ads and all these big fancy budgets when you can just record it yourself. You can train your teams to do things super simply, super effectively. And that's what we're going to go through. But I just want a bit of participation in here. And I guess something for you guys to think about is, do you think that you should be making more video content for your business, but perhaps you're not sure what to post? Perhaps you haven't got the time to post, or you don't believe you do. Maybe you don't believe you've got the skills to do what these other people are doing and grow your social media presence and go viral. Maybe you don't think that it'll work for your business. Maybe you've got a business that you think, do you know what, social media just doesn't really work for me. And that's the mentality you've taken forward. Maybe you feel awkward on camera. You feel awkward about how you sound, how you look. Or the worst one is if you've tried it before, not got any good results, and then quit. That's the worst thing you can do if you want long-term growth on a platform, and something we really push through our client work. So hopefully by the end of this talk, you're going to feel confident and able to go forward, and you will be able to absolutely push through any of those objections. Now, I think the reality of social media at the minute is a lot of people think that it's oversaturated. A lot of people think that everybody's doing it already, and what's the opportunity left for me? But the reality is, the mass amount of attention and influence you can still build through social is monstrous. How you can outflank your competitors is at an all-time high, and ultimately it doesn't cost anything to reach thousands and thousands of people every single day, every week, and every month. And it's just about creating the right type of content that can land in front of them. And ultimately, if you're watching this before we go into 2026, then you will know that this new year is going to be on every platform the biggest focus on video ever. Every platform is driving for viral engagement, and they want people to do well. They want people posting good, engaging content for their audience. And that is what's the opportunity for all of these people. Now, I'll ask you the question: what would it look like for your business if you had, let's say, 100,000 extra people seeing your business every single month? Now, this doesn't matter whether you sell a service online, whether you're a bricks and mortar business. If 100,000 more people every single month knew who you were, saw your face, got to connect with you better, learn a bit about what you do, the value you bring to the market, what would that do for your business? Now, this is the reality of social media and the opportunity that you have at the minute to grow. And businesses just like yours are generating hundreds of thousands, millions of views towards their business every month by simply picking up their phone. So we're going to be going into all of these things in a moment. Now, I'm going to skip through one or two of these slides just because I really want you to understand this part of it. By the end of this talk, I want you to go away from it and be able to create short videos that we produce for our clients. You can create your own short videos that act as powerful digital touch points. I want you to be able to drive more local awareness for your business by using video, and simple, effective video. I'm not talking fancy editing. I'm not talking anything crazy. And I want you to be able to build brand equity in the market at scale in a really simple and repeatable way. That's the goal of this talk. So if you're serious about it, it's important that you take note of the next parts. I'm going to skip through this little quiz because I did this when we were in person, and it was really effective when people could speak back to me. It's not so effective on a webinar like this. Anyway, what are most businesses doing wrong? Well, most of them, they're chasing trends because someone said that they should do it, or they saw a funny thing on social media and thought that was the right thing to do. Please understand that is not the right thing to do. When you chase trends, all you're doing is putting yourself into a mass pool of other content that's not related to your niche most of the time. When you do that, the algorithms start to place you in front of whoever will engage with you, which is usually not your ideal audience. So yes, you might get some vanity metrics, but the reality is you confuse the algorithms on when to place your future content. So by jumping on trends as a business, you actually do yourself no favors at all. You might get some vanity metrics, but we need you to be targeting into your space where your audience are hanging out. And off the back of that, people will end up seeing you and relating to you and connecting with you far better from a business perspective. Boring content is another thing that most people do wrong. They think too along the lines of corporate and keeping things clean and professional. The reality is that's not what audience wants. Even professional individuals that watch content don't want to watch professional corporate content. They don't. They want to be engaged. They want something interesting and something valuable. The next thing that most people do wrong is they post promotional style content, which just feels like a constant sales pitch. If you're posting sales pitches to everyone, well, who's actually going to buy? People hate being sold to. So the reality is the moment you start posting promo stuff more than value driven stuff, that's the moment that people switch off. So this is a quick fix for most businesses. And ultimately, other people, and this is my biggest bugbear, people that say they don't have the time to post quality content, yet they will spend hours scrolling the social media platforms and wondering why they're not getting any results. Let's face it, you've spent too much time scrolling and not enough time creating. So social media is now no longer social media. It's more interest media. You might have heard some of the big names in the marketing space say this. It is interest media. But the reality is that's true. You're no longer scrolling and seeing your nan's dog's footprint picture that your daughter took. It's no longer social. It's no longer family based. It is all about what are you interested in. If you're scrolling the feed, and let's say you're interested in darts, and you're scrolling the feed, and a picture of Luke Littler comes up on the screen, a darts player, and you stop for just a couple of seconds and then you carry on scrolling. The algorithms take note of that and they go, this person might be interested in darts. And then you scroll a bit further and the algorithm's, okay, let's feed them something else darts and let's just test this. And then if they feed you another bit of darts and you stop and look at that, the algorithm goes, cool, they're definitely interested in darts. So the best way we can keep them on this platform is to feed them loads of darts content because they stop and they consume it. So they are looking at what you're interested in and they are feeding you more of that stuff. Which you might think, well, how does that relate to me and my product or my service as a business that I'm trying to sell to people? Well, people are interested in whatever you have as a solution to their problem. So if you can start creating solutions to problems in videos, bring value to your audience, they are interested in that value. They're interested in the solution. And that's why it's so important to focus on their interests to make the content engaging, but focus on the solution to their problems to make it relevant. Once you can combine the two, it's really, really powerful. Another thing you can do with the algorithms is you can categorize yourself. Now, this works across every vertical. A lot of people used to use hashtags all the time to try and get categorized in a certain place. Let's say a keyword they want. Let's say it's digital marketing. Let's say it's, I don't know, whatever. You're a bricklayer. You're going to use hashtag whatever that thing is to try and get yourself categorized. Now we have to train algorithms. They're so smart that they are consuming the words that you say. They're consuming the things that you type on your screen, and they are reading all of that like a 10-year-old to try and understand what to do next with you. So what we need to think about is what keywords is your audience likely to resonate with? What would grab their attention whilst also being relevant to them so they will find you? Let's say you're a local barber and you know that your audience is maybe thinking about saving some money and they want to know how to cut their own hair. They might be Googling or searching online how to cut my own hair. So in your captions or in the words that you say to grab their attention, you categorize yourself. Say, if you want to learn how to cut your own hair, okay, using those words will help you get placed in front of those people that are searching for it. And then maybe they're searching for a professional barber along those lines, and they want a professional barber near me. So to categorize yourself fully now, you're going to say, here's how to cut your own hair from a professional barber in XYZ town. Now you're using all the keywords that are relevant to that audience, the things that they're searching, the way that you can grab their attention, but the categorization of the algorithms are going to get you placed in front of the right people. And this is how we're generating millions of views every single month for our clients, by simply utilizing keywords to get placed in front of the right people. And the final thing on algorithms is that it really doesn't care about your business. They literally don't care. It's a computer code that does not give a monkey's whether you do well or flop on your face. All it cares about is providing your viewer with the content, or their viewer, because you're on their platform, their viewer with content that keeps them there. They want the viewer to watch. They want the viewers to stay, to engage with the content that is on the platform. Because if they keep people on the platform, they can feed them more ads. All they care about is the viewer. So is your business producing content that is value driven and purposefully built to keep your viewer on the platform? Or even better, to bring people onto the platform? That's the holy grail there. Now, If it's not, if you're just creating promotional stuff, the reality is most people will scroll past it. It's not going to keep them on there, or at worst, they even might leave the app because they've seen so much of it. If your content is the last thing they saw before they leave the app, the algorithms will punish you for it. So we need to keep them engaged, we need to keep them focused, and we need to keep them watching the content. Now, there's big brands out there doing this. There's brands, I'm not going to play.
Me and my colleague have put
It's
up
going
our
to play anyway.
bums.
There's big brands
Me,
like
nothing.
Currys are doing this, and they are focused
Oral-B
so
electric
much
toothbrush,
on
which has
not
got
almost
great
about their
precision.
products, but engaging their
65-inch
audience
LG
with
OLED
funny
C5
content, with
TV,
engaging content that just
Office
keeps the
Switch 2.
people watching. But all the while they're
Lego Ferrari
watching,
F1
but it's
car.
branded. They've got their Currys
Dyson
outfit
Airwrap
on. There's
hoodie.
some of their products in the background. They're not selling you the
Oura Ring
products,
4.
but they're selling you their
Me and
attention.
my colleague have
And the
put
next
up our
time you think,
bums.
oh, we need to change our
Me,
TV,
nothing.
for example, who do you
Oral-B
think of?
electric
Well, you
toothbrush, which
instantly
has got
go,
great power and precision.
probably Currys. That's where we're going to go.
65-inch
Not because
LG OLED
you've been
C5
Googling
TV,
Currys, but because they're
Office
in the
Switch
back
2.
of your mind, because you've seen their
Lego
content
Ferrari
constantly and they're
F1 car.
constantly engaging you in the feed.
Dyson Airwrap
So
hoodie.
big brands are doing it. Now the small brands need to take
Oura
advantage
Ring
of
4.
this. It's important to remember when you're starting out, followers do not equal influence and views. You can be 100 followers and still receive millions of views if your content resonates with your audience. If you can get strong engagement, good watch time, produce content that keeps people on the app, and ultimately get people to share it and bring people into the app, you have just as much opportunity as the biggest followed brands on the planet. It is an absolute level playing field, and most businesses unfortunately don't realize this opportunity. They think, oh, I've only got 700 followers on my Facebook. How am I going to stand out against my competitors that have 20,000 followers? The followers don't matter. It's the content that you produce that matters. We have scaled brands from 3,000 followers to 15, 16,000 followers in the space of months. Not because they were great and had loads more followers at 3,000 than their competitors, so they received more views, but because we created content that was tailored for their customers. It was fun, it was interesting to watch, and it was simple. And that kind of stuff resonates. And lo and behold, more people watch, they get more views, more influence, they earn more money, and more people come and follow them. And that's how you grow that scale. So anyone can do it. It's a level playing field. This applies to everything, whether you're an individual, a business, a coach, a consultant, a brick and mortar business. Is an absolute level playing field for content. So don't think that it's oversaturated. Don't think you haven't got a chance because all your competitors have more followers than you. It only takes one video to overtake them overnight. Now, there's a new way and an old way of creating content. The old way for most businesses, and what we see when we come in and work with clients, it's usually what they're posting at the time that we come in, is they are pushing the thing that they want to be selling. Even if it's not in a salesy way, they really want people to just know about the thing. And that's what's going to make them money. They don't look at the value add that they can bring to bring more people in. So, for example, let's say they're a restaurant, you'll often see them saying, hey, come try our new menu. Or at the moment, we got 20% off starters on this thing. They really want you to understand the things that they're trying to sell. The problem is nobody engages with that. It gets ignored locally, and ultimately they just get ignored in the feed, and that damages, as we've spoken about, the algorithm pushing you further. Whereas if you flip that on its head and think, okay, well, what's the value I can bring while still showing them the menu? Maybe we could go and have a conversation with one of the team, walk up to them with a camera and say, what's the most popular dish on our new menu? You've intrigued the audience. You're getting a personal connection because there's somebody in the team actually answering on camera. You've got a good microphone so they sound good. But all the while, you're indirectly selling the new menu. You're telling them, oh, well, we've got a load of things on the menu at the minute, but probably my favorite is the mussels and blah, 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 whatever it is. So you're still telling them about the new menu, but you're not selling it. You're creating intrigue to get people watching. Let's use another example. Let's take a sofa shop. We work for sofa shops where all they're doing is promoting the biggest sales. Hey, visit our showroom today. We've got a massive sale on. The old DFS joke where every day is a sale. But the reality is nobody cares about a sale. Nobody wants to be sold to. If they want a new sofa, they'll buy a new sofa. It doesn't matter if you're telling them they have a sale, you have a sale on for them to take action in that moment. But what you can do is provide value so you become the person top of mind when they're ready to change. Maybe you could say, here's how to avoid wasting money by buying the wrong sofa. Or here's how you can make your sofa last 10 times longer to save you money. People are always interested in learning how to save money. And if you can incorporate that into your sofa shop, so you're providing value in an interesting way with your team on camera, suddenly you're now value-based rather than sales-based. And again, as we've discussed, and we see time and time and time again with all the clients we work with, whether it's on a coaching capacity, whether it's in person, when you sell, it doesn't work. When you provide value in an interesting way, it works time and time and time again. Now, I'm going to skip over these kind of examples, but I just want to show you the impact this can have on businesses. So, for example, we took and scaled this donut shop. They were doing well in themselves, just, pushing what they had and telling people where they were. Really, really nice guys. We converted their content into value-based in an interesting way, because ultimately, like we did with the restaurant example, you're no longer talking about, hey, look how great our donuts are. It's like, hey, how many donuts can you eat in 10 minutes? And then you've got a load of their donuts on display and you're showing them. But it's intrigue, it's interesting. Or maybe we do like walking in as a customer and saying, hey, excuse me, how much does it cost to buy 8 donuts? So that intrigue of a customer interaction is now getting you to look at their donuts, see the interaction between the customer and the person, and they get to show you 8 donuts rather than them just saying, hey, look, here's 8 donuts, which isn't interesting. So you convert that. These particular, across all of their platforms, we're nearing in on 10 million organic views, no paid ads for them, within 4 months. And that's just from converting. And the nice thing is we got them monetized on a platform. Another brand, similar thing. Let's say this brand is a repair business. Taken them from posting about, hey, £10 off your next air conditioning, to what value can you bring? Well, you have loads of value and people need your service. So let's stop selling to them. Let's position you as the experts in your space. And off the back of that, they have now scaled. This is the brand that we've scaled in 4.5 months from virtually just thousands of views every month to 11.2 million views in 4.5 months, entirely organically. They're earning from their content now. They've got monetized. They are getting more footfall. They're getting more business, more inquiries, because people trust them. We're positioning, instead of, hey, you can get £10 off air conditioning, we're now becoming the value source of, should you buy part 1 tires? What's the most reliable car for your kid's first car? We're positioning their expertise as value-based, and people buy into them because of it. Now, all of this is essentially built around a framework, and the framework is this. It's the Shout framework. Yes, I called it the Shout framework because my business is called Shout, of course. But this framework, if you can follow it, will work categorically every single time. I have people reaching out all the time after talks, after speaking events, and they'll say, I tried and implemented this, look at my video. And lo and behold, that's the video, the next video they post, that's the one that goes viral, because they follow this framework.
So let me show you something really special.
First of all, we have show your team.
No, Justin, you're not allowed to speak.
People say people buy from people, and I agree with that. But I think it's more important to stress people buy into people.
For those business
they buy into the people, and then they want to support those people.
Look at this.
And that is so valuable in today's world, and people don't realize it. You can humanize your business, humanize your brand by simply showing your team. So the S stands for show your team. If it's just you as an individual, if it's founder-led, you are the team. You have to be on camera. People have to buy into you. They have to see you as that value source, that interesting source, that person as an expert in that field who gives without take. And then guess what? They're going to check you out, and they are going to want to buy from you, versus just being a faceless brand that's trying to push sales all the time.
Really easy.
The next thing you've got to focus on, no one's in the soft play. I talk about this in pretty much everything I do, whether it's my TikTok coaching community, whether it is with clients on consulting basis, whether it's a guest talks, whether it's with clients. The hook is the most important thing of any video. You have 1 to 2 seconds to stop someone from scrolling. If they do not stop scrolling, it doesn't matter how great your video is at 23 seconds. They will not see it. You have to stop them from scrolling and get them to engage and watch. So the first 1 to 2 seconds are the most important seconds of your entire video. So you need to stop that scroll, grab attention. This could be with the words that you say. Let's say, for example, you're an accountant and you want to get more people to watch your video. Now, you could start your video with, hi, I'm Barry, the accountant. I'm going to teach you how to save money on your dividends. The problem is, hi, my name's Barry, and they've scrolled. You've lost them. There's your 2 seconds gone. Wasted. However, if you started with, if you own a business, this is how to save money on your dividends.
Josh, what's it like when no one's in the soft play?
Business owners go, oh, I own a business. And you go, I'm going to save you some money. They go, I'm listening now. Then you can go to the value. So you grab them with your hook. So it's not all about visuals. It's not all about bouncing into a screen and doing something wild. It's about grabbing attention with the words that you say and the way that you position it to grab that and stop them from scrolling. I put a little thing here. If you're watching this, you can go along with this, but kind of pick a hook. which hook would you likely stop and watch? Would it be A, book a consulting call with us today? B, 3 simple ways to get more inquiries for your business? Or C, a quick look at the services we offer? Now, I hope if you've taken anything away from this talk so far, you would definitely be leaning towards B, the 3 simple ways to get more inquiries for your business. Again, we're trying to grab that attention and speak to the audience themselves. This, if I was in person, I would be getting you to do your own hooks, but obviously I can't do that on
Should
this
you buy Part 1 tyres or not? Well, the answer is no. I've worked in the trade for over 20 years, and some of the that I see from Part 1 tyres is ridiculous. You should never really buy Part 1s because the tyre is the thing that connects the car to the road. It is massively safety critical. People are saving maybe £10 or £20 on a tyre to go Part 1. This example here was bought a couple of months back from a customer as a Part 1, and you can see that it's bought. They only got 2 months out of this tyre, and I could have got them the same tyre for about £15 more, brand spanking new. Part 1s in the Part 1 world, they are supposed to certify these tyres and stamp the sidewalls to say that they've checked them. You won't see anything on this tyre at all. I don't think it's even been checked. And we see that a lot, as do every other garage around the country. So I think if you ask any sensible garage owner or mechanic in the trade, they will tell you the same thing as me. Don't buy Part 1s, guys. It's just not worth the risk. If you have to, just buy a budget tyre. Should you buy Part 1 tyres or not? Well, the answer is no. I've worked in the trade for over 20 years. And some of the that I see from Part 1 tyres is ridiculous. You should never really buy Part 1s because the tyre is the thing that connects.
It's as simple as this. Use your phone. Everybody's worried about these highly polished promotional stuff that you have to have high production, loads of fancy lights, and a DSLR camera, all this rubbish. The millions of views that I've generated. Over 170 million views online now. Not one of them has come from a fancy camera. Every single one has come from an iPhone. That is it. That's the end, period. You don't need fancy production. You need to focus on authentic human content that is focused on the customer, the audience. What do they want to consume? What do they want to hear? What do they want to watch? It's not about you. It's not about how fancy your equipment is. It's about engaging them. So don't worry about fancy production. If that's your barrier to entry and you're thinking, well, I don't have good lights, I don't have good audio, I don't have a fancy camera, you're creating excuses for not creating content. You will have a phone which has a video ability in your pocket. That's all you need to start creating 3 to 4 posts a day. 3 to 4 posts a week, sorry, for your business. That's it. Simple. No more.
This is the truth about being.
And the final one, T is for talk to your audience. Because as I just stressed, it is not about you. It's not about what you want to sell. It's not about what you want to tell people. It's not about how you position yourself and the points you want to get across. It's about them. Because if they aren't watching you, what does it matter? You're speaking to an empty room. You need to use their pains, use their interests, and try to make them feel spoken to. And this is really important. We always speak about when working with people, who's your ideal client persona? Who's your ICP? And that's ultimately working out who is the person that I want to influence and have watching my content, because they are likely to be the people that buy from me. And then once you know that person, once you have that target avatar, you can then go, right, what does this person, let's call them Jeremy for a second, what does Jeremy struggle with that I know I can solve? And what insights and knowledge do I have I can pass on to Jeremy where he'll think, wow, that was really good of me, and then that's going to build that trust. Always focus on the audience above everything else. And that is the Shout framework, and that is this webinar. I wanted to keep it as short as I could. I appreciate it's about 25 minutes though, so not as short as it could have been, but hopefully you've taken a lot away from this. I have left a link in the description of this video, which will link to about a 19-page, really concise ebook, which is the simple social media playbook, which will take you through these frameworks. It will take you through how to hook your audience a bit better, how to engage your audience, how to record content that's simple and effective and repeatable. So there is absolutely no excuse for any businesses out there to not create content. And obviously, let me know in the comments if this was valuable, if you want to chat, anything like that, you're very welcome to. But hopefully you can take this away and influence some of your customers to take some action and go viral on social media. Thanks for watching.